after all of that, obviously, when you come back home, how different would you say life is? Adjusting back to what a normal reality is. Because your reality was Afghanistan, right? Like, every day fighting and, you know, trying to protect your country. Well, not your country, but just also your family, who was obviously the people that were fighting with you there. You know, and then you come back to Canada and everyone's like, oh yeah, let's go grab a beer, man, or hey, like, do you want to go do this, or you want to go see this movie? Like, it's
especially when you said you didn't tell friends or family, so
yeah,
you didn't really talk to them. So how did that impact with her question?
Yeah, well, coming back was different. For me, it was not as hard as it is for some other people, and that's where you get PTSD.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, my life as a childhood, I've seen a lot. And
coming from Trinidad, I've seen murders. I've seen bad stuff happen. Me living on the street, I've seen the street life, right? So in that aspect, it didn't affect me that much. But don't get me wrong, it did.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't see much of it. But like my mom. By the way, my mom found out that I was in Afghanistan.
Yeah, she had to. Right?
Oh, the army tells them.
Oh,
right? But I didn't tell them.
Oh.
Right. So people found out I was over there. Besides that, though, me coming back into the real world, as you would call it, I was pretty chill. I was pretty cool. I didn't think there was any changes happening with me, but that's me. But people outside saw how different I was, right? For me, stuff like loud noises irritated me. I came back when the fireworks were going off, and I cannot do it because I was pretty much tripping, you know, thinking gunfights were happening, and I wasn't tripping out like crazy, like PTSD, but I was jumpy. That's it. I was very jumpy, right? And I was very aware. No, that's something that you'll never ever let go. You'll never let go. You always find yourself scanning the roof towers, or always looking at certain things, or always noticing something, because that's what you're trained to do. Even if it's a simple, smallest thing. Yeah, for me, I can drive, because my first tour was driving. So when I first came back, driving was really hard for me. I found myself really like hard to stay in the lane. Like if there's a garbage or if there's disturbed dirt, I catch myself drifting without really noticing. But at the same time, I kept my cool, right? You had to try to realize that, back in the days, in the real world. Right?
You said something earlier that interested me. You said you being on the streets and seeing all these bad things that happened in Trinidad, when you went to Afghanistan, since you already had that background, it was already a connection for you, like, okay. Now, for people that do join the Army, that have had a comfortable lifestyle, never had to see the street or any struggle, would you say then that was more of the drastic change for them coming back? Because you'd said earlier, you know, I lived in Trinidad.
You were exposed to it at a young age.
Compared to someone who was never exposed to that, goes to Afghanistan, sees all this, and then returns back.
Yes, definitely. That's a big advantage on my point. But as for them, that's definitely where the PTSD and the hard to adjust back to the real world life comes into play. It's very difficult for them to see that, right? Their reaction compared to my reaction is very different, right? And that's where you get members committing suicide, unfortunately, right? I've had a few members who have done that already. And,
so people you went to tour?
Yeah, or just people who I've known that went over there and came back, even before me or whatnot, right? Okay. Just committing suicide, but no one really knows why or whatnot. But it can mean a lot or anything in general. But it is what it is. No matter what, you go over there and you're exposed to that kind of lifestyle or scene or whatever it is, something's going to happen.
Yeah,
you can't be the same person you are today. For me, when I first came back, patience was through the roof for me. Like I got annoyed by the stupidest things people came complain about. You know.
Yeah. Oh, my beer's flat. You're like, your beer's flat?
At least you get drink.
You can drink beer. You have you don't have to worry about dehydration. You know, you can dehydrate yourself by choice.
Right? Like when I first came back, like simple thing is using a bathroom, an actual proper bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Like having showers that's longer than 2 minutes, because that's you can shower every day.
Yeah.
Keep
yourself clean.
Yeah.
There's days we went 7 days without showers.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right? So
I really encourage everyone for Remembrance Day to donate to Legions, because they do take the money that's raised there and they help people with those disorders who come back. So veterans that come back. They also help older veterans who fought in different wars. And
Now, I know your life was in danger every single day, obviously, every single minute, but can you tell us of a specific moment where that feeling of obviously you have fear because you're human, but that one moment of you thinking, this is really bad?
There's one, but I can't say that one. But the other one I have is, when we got pinned down, I drove over a mine, and the mine blew up behind us, and that was lucky it didn't blow up underneath, because bad stuff would have happened.
Yeah, just ruined the tank.
So we got blown. It went off behind us, and the vehicle in front of us hit one at the same time, and he was trapped inside, and we were trapped. But at the same time, all that's happening, there's gunfire, there's rocket attacks coming from left and right. So we pretty much hit an ambush in the middle of the river, and gunfights, bullets coming from both directions and rockets coming from both directions, and we just returning fire. While our buddy in front, we don't know if the call sign in front is down or whatnot, because they're not replying at the time. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think that was it for me, because, well, I was still alive. But at the same time, when something like that happens and your ears is ringing, you are in charge of the gun, and you can't really see probably because the eyes are all kind of blurry, dust everywhere kind of thing. You don't know, you're just hearing gunshots happening, you're hearing, communication coming, chaos coming over the radio. Everyone keeping it cool, but chaos is still coming across the radio, calling in.
But you can't afford to panic.
Stuff, right?
Yeah, you
can't. Panic is what gets you killed.
Yeah.
Right? We're trained for it and whatnot. I have another one. I was doing gate security. I was doing protecting the camp, the base, right? And I'm in charge of making sure no one comes through or breach the front gate and whatnot. So it's me and a partner. And I'm sitting there and doing my thing. We don't have any NVG, like night scene capabilities at the time. We had one behind us, but we had to actually physically get up, walk to the one behind us and do a scan and then come back. So I physically got out, walked to the one behind me, did a scan. After I did the scan, didn't see anything. But, this is about 2:19 in the morning a.m. Mm-hmm. And it's cold, a little chilly. And because temperature drops really bad, right? But the whole night you're hearing weird noises, so you're kind of on edge. Like, we're talking, but we're still scared. We'd be talking and all of a sudden we're like, we hear that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So your heart's beating really fast, but you're keeping it cool kind of thing. And, I'm just sitting there, look over the edge, there's nothing, look down the road, and we're right on the road, right on a main road. Mm-hmm. Right? So we look down, nothing. Right in front of us is just a field of, grape field, like an open field, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's the town center, whatever, is, right there. It's about 100 meters away, right? So we kind of looking, nothing. And there's a beam here and a beam here holding up over kind of roof.
Yeah.
And then we have a 50 cal in front here. And then we have machine gun here for both sides, right? And then we have our own personal weapons and whatever else, explosions and fun things that go bang with us, right? But at the same time, I go to sit back up on my stool. And as soon as I go to sit on the stool, I hear pow. So I'm like, and in the corner of my eyes to the right, I see this flash, and I'm like, what is that? I heard, it's definitely a gunshot, but, what is it? But the angle looked like it was inside our camp. So it looked like one of our soldiers accidentally shot off a round by accident, and that will be dealt with later. Mm-hmm. It wasn't us, right? So whatever, it's friendly. Mm-hmm. So I didn't think of anything of it. So then, obviously, I get off my stool to go check, and I look down, go back, look through the NVGs, nothing. And then all of a sudden I go to sit back on my stool again, and I hear pow, and then I hear pow pow pow, and all of a sudden I hear poof, poof, and then
oh my gosh.
and what was an insurgent or someone with a weapon, AK-47. 2 of the bullets hit the beam, didn't go through the beam. Splinters flew everywhere. But one bullet flew right in front of my face, in front of the other guy's face, and missed us.
Oh my goodness.
So then I yelled, contact. And I yelled it really in contact. And I call it in, and I jump behind a 50 cal to go fire it. Swing the 50 cal over, but the 50 cal can actually physically swing that far, that angle. Oh. So I was like, crap. So it's kind of funny though, because
how's this funny? I'm just imagining it right now. This is like a movie.
This is really intense.
So, but the thing is, the whole time back in training, you think, oh, when I get first time I ever get attacked, I'm just gonna like let it rip and all cool and stuff. And then in real life, that never happens, right? You always this kind of panic and whatnot. Actually, it's crazy how much training works, because I kept my cool, he kept his cool, and I went to this 50 cal, nothing, and then I went to I picked up my personal weapon to fire my personal weapon, and then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to clean this after.
So let's pick another one.
So then I put this down. This is all happening really quick though. Yeah. I'm making it sound really slow, but it happened like in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
So then I grabbed the heavy machine gun, which is a 7.62 round, right? And I jump behind it, I crack it, and I'm about to fire, but then I'm like, I don't see anyone. There's no more firing happening, so no point of me returning fire right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And as soon as I say that, I stayed there behind the machine gun. And I'm just kind of scanning the area, and all I hear is pop, pop, pop. And the minute I hear that, I saw the flash, muzzle flash, and I'm like, I got you. So then I was like, I just started firing, but I fire to the left of him because the road wasn't right, and he was fine in the open ground kind of way, but hidden in the bushes. So I was like, well, I got to fire to the left of him to drive him out to the field, because I don't want him running into the field, because I won't be able to find him.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, and this is all training. This is all what we learn how to train, right? We train to do. So I'm like, I let it burst out, bop, bop, and I started traveling that way to the muzzle flash where I see it. And then I call in to OP1, because I'm front gate. OP1 is up in the tower. Mm-hmm. I'm like, OP1, follow my fire, insurgent, let's take him out, kind of thing. So I'm like, pop, and he's like, doof, 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 and I'm like, pop, 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 and then he comes out, and it was kind of, it was misty almost, so it was cloudy, so it's kind of, but the moon was out, so it's cloudy, and it was like, he runs out in the middle of the road, and I'm like, you should have done that, and I was like, pop, pop, so I shot, and that was my first, incident. Yeah. And I two to his chest, one to his head, and the 50 cal hit him as well, and he was down. And after that, we kind of calmed down, cooled down, and investigations started happening and all that. But I probably went through almost a whole 220 rounds.
Dang!
Wow.
I think I had like 20 rounds left, so I probably hit about 200 rounds in that machine gun.
Wow. When you were saying that story, I literally envisioned myself being there as a ghost watching it.
Yeah, or just being in your position. Like,
and all that. I'm sure it feels like eternity, but it was like
really happened really quickly.
Yeah.
Like it happened in probably 30 seconds or less. All that happened in a heartbeat. From the minute we start firing, or I start firing, that's about 30 seconds of firing.
Oh my gosh. To counterbalance Sia's question, was there ever a time that you felt relieved or safe when you were there?
Never.
Never?
Never. No, you're always on edge.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that kept me sane was I went to the gym every day. The gym is what I use to keep me balanced, pretty much.
That's good, though. It releases endorphins, keeps you a little bit more positive. And wow.
And it kept me healthy.
Yeah.
right? I kept my joints moving and whatnot, so I know if I ever got in a fist-to-fist fight with an insurgent, I know I could handle his ass, kind of thing, throw him to the ground, kind of thing, you know. We're trained to do that kind of stuff too, right? You know, I'm able to run, able to move in general, just be healthy, be strong. So I know I'm doing my part, because if you're not, well, if you're too slow or whatever, quick in the draw or whatever it is, it all depends on your life, right?
So what advice would you give to a young boy or man or woman who's listening to this right now and wants to join or already has enrolled? What advice?
Do what you want to do. Make sure it's what you want to do. Make sure you want to join the Army, and make sure that's the route you want to take. Be yourself. Don't try to change for anyone, or don't think that you got to follow everything that, you know, the Army life. Don't. Just be yourself. Do what you want to do. Make sure that's the route you want to take. But like I said, what I said earlier is know that, like, right now we're not at war anywhere really. We're not being deployed. But at the same time, know there's a chance that you will be deployed, and accept the fact that you may not come back home. You may not make it back. Army life is really rough, especially if you are married or if you're married, it's very rough. You have to have a strong wife. You have a strong family to be able to be in the Army. I've seen a lot of families break up, and a lot of families always not happy. The other thing is, if you start a new relationship, it's going to be really hard. On the other side of things, because that sounds pretty negative what I just said, but the other side of things is, I don't regret it one bit. I learned a lot. I traveled the world. I learned things that no one ever learned before, unless you're in the Army. Or I've done things that, you know what, who could say you're 21 years old blowing up stuff legally? You have a license to shoot a tank. And you know what, if you guys ever have a chance, because we do things like this for, you know, promotions or whatever in the Army, in Edmonton especially, because Edmonton is the tank base. But if you ever have a chance to go and see LDSH, which is Lord Strathcona Horses, that's my unit. They do tank rides. They do tank.
That'd be a cool experience.
That would be, and to like record it and talk to people.
Yeah, you could go to the unit and just talk to them, and they'll show you different vehicles and whatnot. Of course, you have to ask. The other thing is you there's sometimes there's radio competitions that you can win. Range meet, whatever. So you go out to the actual range when we have a gun range and the tanks are firing.
Oh, fun.
And you could actually be beside the tank to fire, or you could actually get in the tank and fire a tank.
Oh man, that's so fun! Like I told you, the only 3 guns were shot, and like that'd be so fun.
It's loud. It's deadly. Like,
so then we'll set a date with you then in Vancouver for us to go.
Yeah, but firing a tank is fun. It's fun. To a certain point, when you've done it quite a few times, it's kind of whatever,
monotonous. Like I've done this before.
Yeah,
no big deal.
But now you're living in Vancouver, so what's life like for you now?
What are you up to?
What are you up to?
Life is going. I finally decided to move on and open up my own job, my own shop.
Nice.
Like what kind of shop?
Set my dream. My shop is it's D-Ride Auto. You can find me at drideauto.com.
Once again, drideauto.com.
Yeah, it's a D-rideauto.com.
Okay.
And the D stands for dream, and that's why I said D-Ride. For me, as a little boy, I've always loved automotive. I've always loved cars, and that's actually one reason I joined the Armored Forces, because I was able to
take what you loved and apply it to your career in the Army,
and work with vehicles, because with us we have to know how our vehicle runs. We have to fix our vehicles if something happens, right? And it was a long dream I've had, and I decided,
I remember when I met you in Edmonton, you always wanted a car shop or something like that.
Exactly. I love automotives.
That's cool.
Know, so I opened up my own shop.
Where's it located?
It's located off the Maryhill Bypass in Port Coquitlam, 1650 Broadway Street. Yeah, and it's just custom automotives. We do everything from pimping out a ride to
ride.
Exactly,
with exhibits.
Yes. You've been officially pimped.
Yeah, you've been officially pimped. I loved that show.
And then regular, maintenance vehicle work, right? So that's what I do, and I opened it on my birthday actually.
Nice.
Oh, that's an awesome birthday gift for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about your experiences, to let our listeners have just an insight on what it's actually like to go over there and be involved in a modern day war, because I feel like they don't really teach that in high schools right now. It's all history, like past wars. So it's good to know what's going on right now and the way it is. And your life experiences, I have to say, are incredible to hear.
They really are.
They're terrifying and incredible at the same time.
To do all this before 30 years old, I mean, your young adult life, you were in danger for most of it, compared to, when you're a young adult, you're supposed to discover where you want to be broke, and then make money.
Yeah, decide what you're...
But you're
later.
like, no, I'm going to put a country, and protect that. And for that, I salute you. It's really amazing what you've gone through, and thank you so much. And this is what Remembrance Day is also about. It's not just World War I or World War II. It's our veterans, and your veterans, your friend,
and
your cousin.
Just turned 30. Like, don't forget that veterans are they're not just the older people. They are young adults who are like our age, and they've been through so much more life experience than we ever have. So, like, mad respect.
For sure. So next time you're sitting around and, not giving someone that respect they deserve, remember that they put their life on the line so that you can sit your ass on that bus or you can walk down the street.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Well,
what really peeves your pussy?
What really peeves my pussy? I know I didn't do this last week. There's a lot of things that peeve my pussy.
Wow, this is a little shocking here.
Sorry, this is a segment we usually do. But no, you know what that's one thing that actually does peeve my pussy is that, well, there's two.
Okay.
What I wanted to say last week was I was on the bus and just people were sitting in the elderly / pregnant or disabled seats, and they wouldn't get up, and 3 different grandmas were there standing all around.
No one's changed?
No one looked.
Come on, guys. Looked. She already said this like weeks ago, and you guys are not paying attention.
It still pisses my pussy. But what actually kind of peeves my pussy now is that I feel like our youth isn't really involved with what's going on, and they don't really care too much. Everyone's kind of self-obsessed with this reality. And what's really funny is that these other countries, like Syria, for instance, was just like Vancouver. And then they went to war, and then everyone lost everything, and then you have all these refugees flooding everywhere
and I mean,
stuff. So
to continue with what you were saying, I'm just thinking about this. H&M just released Balmain, and it's so funny. Teenagers and people were willing to stand in line for hours or days to rush and take care of that, rather than sitting down and paying attention to what's going on in Syria, or sitting down and try and figure out what our world is all about. Because at the end of the day, these materialistic things, they fade away. Yeah. Because one minute you could be living a happy life, and next minute
you can be taken away.
You can be taken away. And don't think just because you live in Canada or in America, especially Americans know this, they're always watching their back to see who's going to bomb them. But in Canada, doesn't mean we have some kind of like glory protection. We don't have a protection where no one can not come and hurt us. Just smarten up.
That's what peeves my pussy is that people take for granted what they have and they don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm. And get out of your bubble. Seriously, people, get out of your fucking bubble and go discover things and learn what the good and the bad and everything in between this world is. Because at the end of the day,
What at the end of the day? She's
I don't
done
even
now.
know. I'm done.
I
get really frustrated.
That peeves both of our pussies. So please just go out there and make yourself more learned about current events and salute the veterans or people who go over and try to protect what your way of life is.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything you want to say?
What peeves your penis?
You know what? Politeness. People not being polite. People learn. Go out and learn. You know what? Learning saves your life. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be from a book. Just natural learning, just common sense. And you know what? That's one of the biggest things that you know, irked me off.
Yeah, that irked you.
when I came back.
Well, thank you so much for listening to Words of Wisdom Wednesdays.
Yep. You can follow our shenanigans on Instagram and Twitter at Wow Wednesdays, wow with a 0.
Mm-hmm. You can also email us at wordsofwisdomwednesdays@gmail.com if you have any comments or anything like that. We will be posting up pictures and his car shop. So if you want to
we'll
go
be
there.
posting that information. So thanks again. Really, this was great.
Thank you.
I really appreciate.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sia.
Excellent. Thank you,
my
Stephon.
pleasure.
Thank you. Also, I want to say thanks to our engineer today. He saved me from having to record. His name's Angelo. He's a part of a collective called Ulterior Motif.
And their
Motif.
Their studio will be up and running pretty soon.
By December. December 12th. So if you want to rent some time, he's a great engineer.
And it's a great room, by the way, guys.
It's really intimate. It's great.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll also get some more information about that, and we will be having future interviews with this music collective in the future. So yeah, we'll keep you posted, and thanks.
We're out.